Good afternoon, and thank you for spending a few minutes with us and allowing us to introduce you to Kimberly Stove by UnForgettable Fire. My name is Roger Lehet, and this is my wife, Bridgett. Oh, very good. She has a voice. We were living on a 30-foot boat here in the Puget Sound area in a very cold, wet, windy, and miserable winter. We were dealing with wet bed sheets, misty, moldy clothing.
Condensation.
Oh, it was horrible. We went out looking for a wood stove that would serve several purposes for us. It had to be compact, had to be extremely efficient so our neighbors wouldn't smell our chimney being very, very close in a marina. It had to burn a myriad of fuels, including saltwater driftwood,
and don't
charcoal,
forget
and coal.
Ability. I wanted to be able to cook on it.
We had to be able to cook on it and make hot buttered rums. That's one of the best parts. We couldn't find anything industry-wide. After 27 years of being in the industry, I just couldn't find anything that would do those. So we ended up creating the Kimberly stove. Over the next year, we lived on the boat with our daughter, who was at the time 9, and we developed stove step by step by step in response to needs that we had. Due to this type of engineering, and if you will, this stove has many options and features that other stoves simply do not have. The first thing I would like to point out is that the stove is made in the United States by American craftsmen with the absolute best of machinery, materials, and environmentally safe and friendly practices. In fact, Kimberly stove is completely and totally about the environment. It is designed to burn the least amount of fuel with the least amount of smoke in the air. I'd like you to remember that smoke in the air from a wood-burning appliance is wasted trees, something we cannot afford to continue doing to our planet. Over the year and a half, we found numerous ways to tweak this stove. We had to get it so that it would fit in a very small space. I want to show you that my hand can stay here for a very long period of time, but not here. Most of our heat is focused out of the top for cooking and out of the door area. With this, the heat sides being as cool as they are, the stove can be installed in an extremely small footprint. We recommend 16 inches by 20 inches with a wall that goes around the stove to keep your flammable materials cool.
It's a mere 25 inches tall and 10 inches wide.
The stove also only weighs 56 pounds. That means that you can take this stove from your boat to your cabin, out to your tailgate party, or wherever else you might want portable heat. We can have this stove pulled out of the car, a chimney attached to it in 20 minutes or less. Heating, already burning in 20 minutes or less. If you're in an emergency situation or an off-grid situation, this is the perfect example of an off-grid stove. Its 3-inch chimney system allows it to be installed in much tighter and smaller places than any other wood stove that I'm aware of. Instead of having the Class A chimney, which often costs up to $1,200 for a single-story application, we're using pellet vent pipe, 3-inch pellet vent pipe. Most applications can be done in about $250 worth of parts and very easy labor to install. Any homeowner could do it.
I'd say it's ideal for boats, RVs, yurts.
Any small space. A lot of people today are losing their homes. They're downsizing like crazy. I know people that are moving into trailers, boxcars. I mean, people are going through a rough time, and we believe that this stove is a big answer to a lot of that. Another great feature about this stove, one which we needed, in order to get an 8-hour sleep cycle, which most of us need, we had to develop a stove that would go at least 8 hours on a load of fuel. Our favorite fuel are these densified logs, Presto logs made of sawdust. These are extruded. They do not contain paraffin wax. That is an important thing to remember when looking for fuel. No paraffin wax logs in wood stoves. You will find an area on any labeled log, especially the ones that are packaged in lightable packages. They will say, do not burn in a wood stove. They're okay to use for a light up. If you just take a small chunk of it, put it in the bottom of the stove, use that as your fire starter, that's fine. But as far as burning consistently, do not use those. These are wax free, and believe it or not, this is at least 8 hours worth of fuel in a small space. I would lay one of these on the fire at 10 o'clock at night and wake up at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning with a fuel load ready to throw another piece in. A nice cold bed left over. Our door handle stays cool. It's always cool. We've moved it out almost 2.5 inches away from the body, so you can grab this at any point in time. You can open the stove and reload at any point in time. Our one and only draft control. Put it on low, put it on high. Very simple to operate. For startup, the stove should be on high. We use very, very small pieces of kindling, or like I said, a chunk of wax log. Very, very little paper, very small amounts of kindling, and just build the fire the way you normally would, except with smaller pieces of kindling and less paper. Once the glass has reached 800 degrees, anything that's built up on it will bake itself completely clean. At that point in time, simply run the handle down almost all the way closed. The lower fire in the stove will basically drop down to almost nothing. The gases produced from that fire will rise up, hitting the very hot stainless steel in the top, where more air is injected into the top of the stove for a second combustion zone in the top. That's why the stove is as efficient as it is and runs as long as it does. We're basically making gas out of the wood pulp at the bottom. Those gases rise up, shot with more oxygen, a second burn. This produces our nearly smokeless burn at all times. The first 15 minutes of any fire, you're going to have smoke. Anytime you load a new piece of fuel in, you're going to have a little bit of smoke. We've eliminated almost all of that. Any comments about its cookability?
Bacon and eggs, hot buttered rums. It can
And
just
it's
about
all.
anything.
You can load this up with charcoal. A pound of it will run the stove for about 24 hours with a steady temperature of around 350 degrees, which is enough to warm up soups, grilled cheese sandwiches. Just light foods can be kept warm, or stock pot type foods.
All right.
44 seconds.
Show 'em the clock.
46, 47, 48, 49. That was 44 seconds.
Yes.
Warranty. Most warranties in the industry are a prorated 5-year warranty. They'll tell you lifetime in their brochures, but really the lifetime legally in Washington is 5 years. They have a lot of exclusions as well. Our warranty is very, very simple. If you're not happy with this stove for any reason in the first 30 days, contact us for a full refund. If in the first 5 years anything goes wrong with the stove other than replacement gaskets in the door frame, replacement gaskets for the glass, or replacement glass, owner abuse or neglect, and exterior discoloration, which is normal when you heat stainless steel. You may notice there's some patina. This is not completely stainless anymore. It started to change color. That will continue, and the body will golden. The door will go to a chocolate color. That is normal with stainless steel. However, we do cover the use of saltwater driftwood, charcoal, coal, any other biomass fuel you can get through the door. This stove is built to burn it. Comment?
No.
Nope. Ah. The convenience of an ash pan. When the stove is cooled down, you open the door, lift out the little disc that covers the air inlet, push the ash down into the door, pull the door out, and you're done. Believe it or not, burning the stove 24/7, we empty that little itty-bitty ashtray about once a week. I clean the interior of the firebox about every 2.5 to 3 days. Ashes just drop down in the pan. We take them out and get rid of them once a week.
If you are going to be using charcoal, though, you will be obtaining more ash, so you will have to clean that a lot more.
A lot more ash. And as with any wood stove, anybody can build a beautiful wood stove, but not everybody knows how to use one. Used improperly, wood stoves are dangerous. So know how to install it, know how to run it. We are here to help with that at all times. I can't think of anything else, but I'd like to thank you for sitting here and listening to me ramble about my baby. We would love to make you proud Kimberly owners. Have a wonderful day. Make it in America and keep it clean.